Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm going to jump right on into it because we've got a lot to cover today. This will probably be longer than a 30-minute video, but I will do things as fast as I can. I just have a lot of things to show you. So, Gina K had a May release on, it was a week or so ago. 2 weeks ago actually, because it's the end of the month. I think it was the second Tuesday of the month, and this card kit was the offering in the release as a bundle. Once it sells out, the individual items will come out into her store the following month of the release of the card kit, and I don't have an exact date for that in June of 2025. And I do know this bonus, which was the Ruffled Blooms 3D embossing folder with a die. I'm going to do a series of videos on this. This, Gina K has said, will take 2 to 3 months because of the manufacturing process for this to become available. So I don't know when she'll put it in her store, but Gina K Designs has a really neat feature of their website that when you're shopping and something is out of stock, you can do the notify me. I've been collecting her inks, and I've got, I think, all of the ink. No, I don't have all of the ink pads yet. I have all of the refills, but the regular size notepads, I just looked at my notepad, ink pads, I have several of those on my notify me list, as well as her cardstock, because her cardstock is wonderful. Check with her June release, see if you're interested in this particular 3D embossing folder with the coordinating die. It coordinates with the stamp set up here and the coloring stencils. If you're interested in it, check for it in her store and do the notify me. But we're going to work with, isn't this really a cute design? I saw a 5x7 card using this where the tools were all the way around, and I'm like, I have to case this. And then unfortunately this Father's Day is not from Gina K. I love this. It is a waffle flower. But everything else on this card is Gina K, including this background that I made. But before we jump in, this will be available in June as a stamp set only or the stamp and die bundle. And I just love this because it's got all the sayings, and then it's got all these tools. Now, last video, I cut all these tools out, and we're going to color them today. So that's the main focus. So you see how all of these tools, I've got some coloration in there besides, I think on the bolt, the screw, and the nail, I just left alone. But the tools, I wanted to color like the handles of these tools, and I actually made the wrench gray. And I did that with Prismacolor pencils, not watercolor pencils, but regular pencils. I have a whole set because I have discovered I love coloring with pencils. And then you can either just color and leave, or you can blend it out utilizing this Gamsol, which is a pure odorless mineral spirits. And when I open this up, I'm going to open my window because I want to work in a well-ventilated area. Not that I think it's terrible. Well, it is. If you're in a room that's not ventilated, you want to protect your lungs. I have mild asthma, so I like to protect my lungs. So let me clear all this away. And I matched these colored pencils to her cardstock. How did I do that? What did I do with, oh, here it is. I have the 150 Prismacolor, sorry for my arm getting in the way, Prismacolor, and we're going to do a demo because I'm going to do the tools and then I'm going to show you a larger space stamp that will really demonstrate this process. And I wanted to match it to her cardstock colors. So I have some samples of her cardstock and I basically just lined it up here, and this looks like the pale vermilion matches the best. And then I did the same thing with green cardstock, and the apple green was the best. And I'm going to make sure I'm in shot. So the pale vermilion, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but looking at it here, the pale vermilion definitely is the one that matches the best. So that's my way of matching her cardstock to the colored pencils. I grabbed this from, and it doesn't say ljnighttart.com. It's for personal use only. So this is personally just for me. And there were a couple colors that they discontinued and they're replaced. So I'll have some of this information. I'm going to try to do one of these charts, but I sat here Sunday morning and colored my swatches. Sorry for the arm getting in the way. And that way I've got this and I can match it to her cardstock. So I'll try to get one done up that I can share with you all. And I need to get a drink of water, so excuse me for just a moment. And okay, so I'm just going to leave, I'm going to move that out of the way because if I spill Gamsol on it, I'm going to be really upset. So here are the pieces. I'm going to get this vermilion and the apple green out of the way. Oh, and the chartreuse, because I didn't use that. The rest of them I did use. And these are the tools we're going to color. Get them all together. And these are the tools I've already got done. Isn't that cool? And it only took me a few minutes to do each one of these tools, which was really cool. Oops, hang on, the wrench. Those guys slid around on me. So let's get this started. And on my scratch sheet here, nope, the apple green I do need. Kelly green. Kelly green was what I matched for the next project. So I matched that wrong. So I need to, nope, I don't need to do anything. So all I'm doing with these, so on the pliers, these pliers, all I did was I used the Sunburst Yellow, and all I'm doing is coming in here, and you don't have to be really precise, just inside the lines. And oh, let me get you in much closer. This is as close as I can get you. So I'm just roughly going in, and it doesn't matter if there's pencil lines, like rough pencil lines within the area you're coloring, because we're going to fix that here in a minute. So we're done with this one. And I did a cool gray, 10% cool gray up here on the metal part of the pliers. And I'm just throwing down a little bit of color. If this was a larger, and on the next project, and I am not a colorist by any stretch. So do I use this 10% on anything else? No. Screwdriver. I'm not going to color the metal part, I think there's enough there that you kind of get the picture. But I'm just going to come down here and throw some color on the handle. Doesn't really matter. Oops, I went off. I don't know what happened to my eraser, so I'm going to use this. The nice thing is, if you go outside the line, you can erase the color because it's just like a pencil. So I'll try to be careful so I don't have to keep erasing. So we got that done. I don't need the apple green for anything else on this. The wrench, the whole wrench is 20% warm gray. And I'm just going to put some color in the non-black areas. And I don't know if you can see. I'm not really coloring all of the white. We're going to spread that out here in a minute with that mineral. So I'm just like scribbling some color here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then on the hammer, I'm using light umber, and all I'm going to do is on one side of the handle. I'm not coloring the whole thing because the magic is going to happen in a minute. And then this is the 70% warm, which is up here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of color down. Not a lot. Because like I said, the magic is going to happen in a minute. Okay, so I'm done with these pencils. And so these blending stumps, you see how there's color on the end? If I've already used this to color all the others, but if you were doing a whole new, and I'm gonna move that off to the side because this is gonna get messy here for a minute. So this is sandpaper, and I bought this when I bought the blending stumps. We'll get a new one. So let's say I didn't want that brown on the end of that. You would just basically, at an angle, and then you've got a new point, which is a little bit of color still on it. So you do this until basically the color comes off. And all I'm doing is I'm rubbing and I'm turning this at the same time. And there, you've got a clean, oh, hang on. You've got a clean point. Sorry, it blurred on me. You got a nice clean point. And I'm just gonna dust that off. I don't have my little, I have a little thing for like cat hair that I usually have on my desk, and I don't have any of those left. So let me open up my Gamsol. I've got a new container on order, so right now I'm just using this, and it's kind of full because the container I previously had really didn't work very well. So where's the one that I just filed? So that's gray. That's dark gray. I just did this one for the brown. So you just want to hold this in, you're just going to dip it into, and you see how it picked up just a little bit of that Gamsol. You don't want too much, just enough, because the Gamsol is going to do your magic for you. Let's start with this one. So this is the brown. You see how that's, and I'm just laying it down and I'm dragging the color, and I'm just doing little circles. And if there's not enough color there, where's that brown? Say I wanted to add a little more color, you could just add a little more. and get this and pull a little more. Look at that. Isn't that how fast and easy that was? I love coloring with pencils. It is so fun. So let me find the dark gray. Oh, let me just finish the brown. But isn't that cool? That just twirl it around and you pull that color out. Great for shading. And then let me find the dark gray. So that's brown, that's the green. Here's my dark gray. And just get a little bit of that Gamsol. And you see how that, look at that, isn't that great? It just pulls that color around. I just love this. It is so fun and relaxing. I can sit here and color and pull. I can do all the coloring and then go get the Gamsol. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It is so fun. So the green, let's get these screwdrivers done. Do the same thing. Now I pretty much colored the whole handle with the pencil. I'm just using this to kind of smooth out the lines and color it in. I didn't do any highlighting. I'm going to show you that on a flower that I have here in just a moment. So done with the green. And where is, there, this is the yellow. Ooh, let me move that up just a little. And it just smooths it all out and moves that color around. I just love it. Sorry, I'm concentrating here. And then I've got a gray here. That was a dark gray on the other. This is a lighter gray. And so we're just going to smooth this color around. And I'm not a trained artist. I'm not an illustrator. This is just me watching a bunch of YouTube videos. Oops, move that up, sorry. Jennifer McGuire had a really good video on using Gamsol, but then Gina K, she is the queen. Between Gina K and, who did I just say? Jennifer McGuire. Coloring with Gamsol. Yes, love them. Okay, so that's all of those. And I'm going to move those up and out of our way because what I'm going to show you how to do next using these 3 pencils is this flower here. Is that not gorgeous? I love it. I love this. So I'm going to leave that there for reference. We're going to start with, what is this? Pale vermilion. The writing on this is pretty close together and my eyes just did not want to see that. And I'm going to move that up there so I don't accidentally hit it. And because it's mineral spirits and evaporates pretty quickly, I'm going to put the lid on. So in this flower here, which is different than this one, but you can apply the same concept. I'm going to start down here and I'm going to lay pencil color just down there at the corner where the leaf, or the point where the leaf comes in to the stem. And I might do some on the lines, extend them up. And what we're gonna do is we're laying this color down and then we're gonna pull it. And I'm gonna do all the pencil first. then we're going to pull it after. And down here, I'm going to get color, more color in the shadow area. And we could even add some grays in here and just to give it more definition and color. Okay, so we're done with the orange. And before I put the green in, if you notice in nature, and I don't remember who I saw this with, make sure my glue bottle's closed. I just had a moment of panic. On the tips of the leaves, I'm going to put just a line of this chartreuse up here at the point and on the edges, just at the point at the top. And then we're going to do Kelly green down here at the point. Whoops, and I just broke this. Oh, I just broke this tip. Oh, so I was pressing too hard. There, okay. Didn't need to press that hard. You really don't. I was just so excited with this coloring. So down at the point, I'm going to pull it up the side of the leaf. On one side, on the big one. And now here's where the magic. So I've got one end here that's the orange. Let me uncover the mineral spirit. So let's do the orange and the flowers first. Pick up some of that mineral spirit, that Gamsol. I'm going to start at the base and just kind of push it out in a circular motion, just like that. And just push it towards the top of the leaf. And if it doesn't look like the pencil is moving, just dip back into the Gamsol. And I'm trying to do circular motions as well as pushing. I'm going to rotate that. But look at that. Isn't that so fun? And it's just the magic. The magic is happening. Okay. Let's come over here to this other one. And, oh, isn't that, oh, I got a very skinny stem. Oh, I just love this. This is so fun. I could sit here and do all kinds of coloring. Just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Pull that up closer, and that it just adds so much to this. And we're going to flip it around, and we're going to use the other end for the green. And I'm going to start up with the light and pull it down on both, and then I'm going to grab the dark and blend it out. See, look at that. Isn't that so cool? So I'm just pulling it up, pulling that darker green up into the lighter, the chartreuse, and it gives you that definition. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. And there, you've got it done. So I'm going to add the, oh, I better cover this before I go crazy here and dump that all over. And okay, so isn't that beautiful? So I'm going to put these in my, sorry, there was a cat hair on there. Oh, cat hair gets everywhere. I'm going to put these in my tray of colored pieces and parts, which reminds me, I'm so upset. These are my favorite little flip-flops, and I lost the die. I'm hoping I didn't throw it away. I hope I just put it in with a stamp set it doesn't belong to. So next on the list is this card. So I don't have the inside in it yet. Oh, let me move you out just a smidge. Oh, how about all the way? So I'm going to put that there because of the glare. So this card, so with Gina K, let me back up. So I've been a card maker for many, many, many years, and I know how to cut, how to mat, but sometimes you just struggle to get all these lines perfect. Well, Gina K has introduced a line of what she calls master layouts, and I'm collecting them. Of course I'm collecting them. I'm OCD and I'm just crazy that way. But her master layout, and I'm gonna dump these out, and let me get the sheet. Where is it? Here it is. So in her master layouts, each one has a set of dies that coordinate, and she's currently going through a master layouts video series where we're going through all the master layouts. And in fact, I've got a die over here I'm going to use, which is why it's out separate. But she does these cute little cards set up utilizing, or examples utilizing, the dies. And then you have what she calls tri-cuts, that if you say had just this, because I think that's a master layout one, and you wanted to see what this looked like with those elements, there you go. And then say I wanted to, oh, here they are. Wanted to do this, and I'll pull these out, and I wanted to do happy birthday. Okay, that kind of works. Or let me move this aside, put my tri-cuts away. We're going to utilize these. Gina K does a much better job of describing and explaining this. But it's really cool because you can do this with all of these examples. So let's say we've got that here. And I have a bunch of just sayings. You can do, I would do this on a, oh, hang on. Let me move you closer. So I would do this on a different color to strip, and you could do this over here. It's just, it's really nice that you can utilize, and you can change it up. Hello, friend. Happy birthday. And it just really gives you design and creative outlets or creative options for things that you have, which is why I'm doing this with my die cuts. I love the fact that I can do that. Let's pretend that both of these are pink. You could cut these off and do something like that and just trim them off the side. I mean, there's so much you could do with this, with these master layouts. And we're doing, or I'm doing with her, her binder, or binders, I should say. And I need to pull out again because this is just amazing. So what I showed you was just one. She's got all of these. Ooh, that's crooked. I'll have to fix that. OCD, gotta fix it now. And it's fun doing these binders because if I've got a creative block, all I have to do is pull this out and take a look at it. Or if I've got the elements and I'm not sure, hey, what layout is this best going to look at? It gives me some ideas. So the other thing these master layouts work with is I like to print all of my interior sayings, and getting them to line up when I'm trying to cut them is a chore. So I have got my magnetic plate, and ignore all my plates are very well etched. Excuse me. And I can take so in the number 1 layout, master layout, you've got a die for your mat and a die for the interior. This is the smaller of the two, and I'm using it as my focal point. That's not interior, but focal point. And I'm just gonna put it on here, get it all where I want it. And then I'm gonna go cut it out. So hang on one second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. My die cutting machine is over on the other side of the room. It's electronic, so I don't like to haul it over to my desk. So it's just a matter of, I'm gonna pull that die and I'm gonna put it back where it belongs, otherwise I'll forget. And then you've got perfect alignment of where you want things. I just love the master layouts for that. That goes to this. Yep, because this is Greg's. And I'm just going to put that in. Just like that. I'm making 7 Father's Day cards. So let's finish this card. Let's do this card. And won't do the interior, but I cut out from the master layout 2 of these. And I'm sorry, I'm hearing stuff downstairs. I don't know if that's my husband or not. So I'm just gonna affix this to the center, and then I'll go back because I've got all of my interiors already cut. Put that down, and then this one, let's get this together. And I created this background here. Let me get it attached and I'll show you. And if my head gets in the way, I apologize. It's really hard to line these up when you're not directly over it. So, isn't that gorgeous? It's the gauze background. Where did it go? Here it is. So the flower we did, oh, it was not from Spring Clusters. Oh, I don't remember which one that was from. I'm gonna have to find it. Yeah, nope, not there. Not there. Huh. I do not remember what that was from. Nope, nope, and nope. Floral Friendship. That's what it was. So those flowers I colored, it was from this, the Floral Friendship. I love this set. It is so much fun. And all of the sayings, wonderful set. Floral Friendship. I want to make sure I list that in the description below in our video. But the background that I made, I used Sandy Beach ink and this background stamp, and basically just peeled that off. Here, we're going to make one real quick to show you how easy this is. So let me grab a piece of white cardstock. I'm all over today. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I am having fun. I have no fingernails. So literally all I did was this. I inked up the stamp just like this. Sorry for the table shaking. And then I took my cardstock, kind of got a little straight, and just laid it down right on it. And then rubbed my fingers over the back. And watch this. Isn't that cool and so fun? You can see there's some areas, which is kind of nice to get that little distressed about it. And then I can cut this out of using some of those other dies. So just going to use this as a Stampin' Up! Simple chamois, because I'm sorry, I have found nothing else that works like the Stampin' Up! Simple chamois. Mine's well used, well loved, and I just keep it in a little plastic bag, moist. Doesn't stink, and if it does, I just drop of Dawn. Let me put this back on the front just like that, and off to the side. And put this with all my other backgrounds, and I will utilize that another time. And let's get this card finished. So I'm just going to put this on the front, just like that. Then one of each of these. Just put this down. Oops, sorry. Not there in the middle. So we'll do that here in a minute because I'm going to need my glue. But for the tools, I'm just putting some tape along the top curve and get my first tool kind of like that. Don't set it down yet. And then it's just a matter of some placement. Make sure there's some, I didn't get enough glue or tape over here, so, could not pick that up. So, there. And that's perfect. Perfect. So, and I'm using up all my, I have a ton of these Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And just put enough on here to give it some, let's see, nope. I need the little guys for the tools. And in fact, on this, I'm going to have to cut. So just like this, and then where are my snips? Just going to cut a really thin strip here. there, and then we're going to pull all of these off. Put one more there. The back fell off. I need to go through and color all my backing so that I know what has the paper pulled off. And then we're just going to put this here like that. And let me grab a screw, a bolt, and a nail. And we're going to do the same thing with this. I need 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm using these instead of gemstone embellishments. Oops, sorry if my hair got in the way. This guy is real. I should get my tweezers out. He's kind of a fat strip. That's my problem. It also doesn't help that. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Okay. Oh, but I gotta get, before I do that, I gotta get this on, which, because this is on vellum, I need to make sure my glue is only on the letters. Get that little, otherwise the glue, the adhesive will show through. That won't be good. Vellum and adhesive, they don't mix. Okay, put this down. And I'm filming around lunchtime and I'm super hungry. Okay, let me get this nail picked up. The nail's gonna go right there. And here's the bolt. Come on, bolt. That little paper didn't want to come off. Yep. Just like that. And then one more for the screw. And we'll put this down here just like the other. So easy peasy, just like that. You've got a Father's Day card, and I just love this set. Oh, and my Happy Father's Day is really kind of crooked. Oh, it's still moving. Good. It's not crooked anymore. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining me. This was a lot longer than I normally do a video, and I do appreciate your time, but I just love this easy coloring. Where did that go? I love this coloring. You can apply it to, and I don't have any cute, I've seen some really cute little animals that people have done with shading, and I'm going to do more of this, and I'll do more on camera. But thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate your time. I'll have links down below, especially to the Gina K store. I am an affiliate, and if you follow the link to the store and then put a bunch of stuff in your cart, I do get a small commission, and I do appreciate it. Anything I earn through my channel and through my affiliate commissions, I like to put back into my channel so that I can continue bringing you quality content such as this. If there's anything that you have questions on or things that you would like to see, leave me a comment down below and I will add that in a future video. Thanks a lot for joining me. You have a great rest of your day and happy stamping.